Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here to present some information about a program called Pear Deck, which is a computer-based program that I think will be beneficial to students, teachers, and administrators alike within the school building and within the school district. So I'd like to get started. First off, as teachers, as administrators that have been in the classroom before, we all struggle with stuff on a day-to-day basis with our students. So by raising hand, is there anything that you guys can think of that cause our students problems in the classroom and cause us as educators problems in the classroom? Well, I'm glad somebody mentioned that one of the biggest things we struggle with our students is engagement and interest. We know in the 21st century now with our students struggle a great deal with being captivated in the classroom, being captivated pretty much in anything in general because their attention spans are very short with all the different distractions going on around them. So there's some way that we have to adjust our teaching and our teaching methods so that our students will become more engaged, and as a result, they will end up getting higher test scores, higher scores on report cards, staying out of trouble, different things like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the changes between now and in the past, and we're going to see how this program Pear Deck can possibly address some of these concerns. So when you think about the 20th century classroom versus 21st century classroom, I think about how most of us as educators now, we grew up in the 20th century classroom. In the 20th century classroom, there were things such as we had passive learning, where a lot of the learning that took place in the classroom was us just kind of sitting back and listening to a teacher lecture to us, and we pretty much just wrote notes. We were isolated in our work. A lot of times we had seat work. It was teacher-centered again, where the teacher was pretty much the primary focus in the classroom. There was a focus on memorization skills. There was a lot of just sitting there, rote memorization, saying this, repeating this and that. There was very little use of technology. Technology was not a major factor in our world as of this time. And print was the primary use of learning. But now in the 21st century with our students, we see there's a major turn, a major difference in the way that our students are learning and what's going on around them. So now it's very much more active learning where students are taking more ownership of what they're doing in the classroom. There's a lot of collaborative work. There's very little time where students are just sitting there at a desk with their heads down, paper and pencil in the book, and that's all they're doing. It is more student-centered again, where students are kind of taking ownership about what they're doing. There's things such as choice boards where students are deciding what they want to do to present the material that you're teaching them. There's focus on application. There's a heavy use of technology. We know students around us now today are focused on phones, focused on laptops, focused on iPads, all those different things to again engage them and keep their interest. And there's also multiple forms of media being used. So again, seeing things on the computer, seeing things on the TV screen, seeing things on DVDs, all these different things. So again, things have changed a lot from when we were coming up as students to where our students are coming up now. So the question is, how can we engage our new age students? Some of the things that I think about being a teacher now for 7 years are that we need to use more technology in the classroom. There's more collaborative type activities that we need to have our students participate in. Allow students to take part in teaching a lesson. So rather than always the teacher teaching the lesson, we can learn a lot from the way our students learn, the way our students apply different things. So again, that may be able to reach more students that we may not have been able to reach because we may not learn like everybody else. And also just using tools that allow more students to answer questions and question the lesson being taught itself. I remember coming up as a student, a lot of times we were not supposed to question the teacher. Whatever the teacher said was pretty much the way it goes. But nowadays we need to allow students to question us. Why do certain things work this way? We want to foster that ability for them to see what's going on and why different things work, and we should not be afraid of students questioning us for what we are doing. So there's a program that I'm going to tell you guys about and give you guys some information about that I think will address a lot of these needs. The program is called Pear Deck, all right, and this is actually taken from Pear Deck's website. Pear Deck is an educational technology company offering a web-based application to K-12 schools and teachers. Pear Deck enables teachers to teach with an interactive slideshow displayed on student devices. So we've all done presentations with PowerPoint and whatnot, but again, PowerPoint can only work for so long because, let's be honest, it gets very tedious, it gets boring. Students need a way to be able to interact with the PowerPoint. And Pear Deck is a very good program that allows more and more students to interact with the program. So right now I'm going to show you guys a brief video. I've been using this in my classroom for the past couple of months. And this video is going to show you guys a little bit of information about how Pear Deck works.
Pear Deck will change the way you present slide decks in a live classroom setting. When you hit Let's start presenting with Pear Deck. You're creating a live session for participants to join on their own computer, tablet, or smartphone. As the instructor, you can follow the presentation from your computer or tablet. On their devices, participants can respond to your pre-planned or impromptu questions throughout the presentation with a number of unique interaction types. Those responses can then be shared anonymously and in real time with your classroom projector or interactive whiteboard. From your device, you can isolate individual answers, toggle responses, and even do cool things like overlay all of the drawings your students have shared. Let's walk through a session to find out how.
So, as you saw in that short little clip, Pear Deck is a way for students to be engaged on their own individual devices. So, if students have a laptop or a tablet or an iPad, anything of the like, a teacher can present an interactive PowerPoint where students are answering questions on their laptop each individually. They can ask questions on the laptops, they can maneuver different things and manipulate different things, which again allows for that engagement. As we know, the more and more you give students the opportunity to actually touch something and to be involved with something, the more likely you are to have an engaging lesson where the students are actually going to take something from the lesson. So this next quick video is just going to show you how you can kind of create your own, what they call a deck, where you can create your own question, you can create your own layout and different things like that to adjust accordingly to the lesson that you are teaching. So here we go.
Once Pear Deck has been installed, you can create a new Pear Deck by opening your Google Drive, clicking the Create menu, and clicking on the Pear icon that will now appear. This will launch the Pear Deck editor. At the same time, a Pear Deck file has been created in your drive, just like when you create any Google document. If you rename your Pear Deck file, its new name is immediately reflected in your Google Drive. You can share, organize, and delete this file just like any other Google file. Now you're ready to create your slides and formative assessments. Let's walk through the basic features of each slide type. First, an Explain Something slide. This is a normal static slide. You can enter a title and choose a type of content to add. If you want to change the content type, click the X at the top of the content area and choose a different content block. Second, a draggable slide. These slides allow you to ask students a question and let students answer by dragging a dot or a line on the selected image. This is a great way to ask questions to solicit opinions, spur debate, or get students considering a problem right at the beginning of class. For example, you can ask your students when they think a raisin in the sun took place and drop in a timeline image. You could ask students where they think the ball will land in this picture, or where they think volcanoes form. With a draggable question, you can get every single student considered in the question at hand, whether or not they are bold enough to raise their hand and share their thoughts out loud. If you display the answers up on the projector, you can identify patterns, debate different possibilities, and discuss the best routes to finding an answer. Third, a multiple choice slide. These slides let you ask quick multiple choice questions. Type your question in the title bar of the slide, then enter the possible answers. You can also add other content blocks, just like in a normal slide. Once you have all of your slides made, you can start presenting. This will make the presentation live so that students can join from their own devices. We'll cover presenting in the next video.
So you see through this video, there are many different ways that you can engage the students and capture their interest. You can have multiple choice type questions, you can have draggable type questions, you can have open responded questions. So again, this just gives students opportunity to use technology and also pretty much just to give them an opportunity to become more comfortable and more familiar with the technology. And as we know, everything is going towards that technology-based questioning, test, all those different things. So again, it's another tool to allow them to become more comfortable with that. As I continue on, I know as teachers, a lot of times we are skeptical of different programs that people try to present to us, and a lot of times we feel like teachers themselves have not tested these programs. Teachers don't know if these are actually going to be effective, but I was able to actually gather some information from not only myself, but from other teachers that actually use this program to show you some of the benefits that they said it had. It said increased student participation. Teachers said they started hearing from every student rather than the typical students that we hear from, the ones that are always raising their hands or the ones that we call them because maybe they're not participating. It's a game changer for engagement, it's fun and entertaining, and it's a great assessment tool. So based on just those comments themselves, you see that it's definitely a positive impact in the classroom. In terms of cost, overall, the cost of this program is very inexpensive based on a lot of different programs that are out there and based on the opportunities given to you through the program. For each teacher to purchase a premium subscription, the base cost is $100 for the whole school year, and this includes all the features Pear Deck has to offer, including pre-made decks, sharing decks, and using all the innovative tools within your presentation. So again, $100 is not that bad, at least in my opinion. It's not, especially when you look at the scale of what other programs may cost us in the district, such as things like Study Island, iReady, different programs like that. If the overall cost of the school, so if we were to give every classroom access to the program, which includes the 55 classrooms within the building, it will only cost our district a total of $5,500, which again is not a hefty price tag. In terms of implementing the program, the timeline is very simple. Once you, at least I've done it before myself, once you purchase the actual program online and you have paid your bill, you have all access to all the capabilities of the program. So it's not something that takes months and months and days, whatever it may be, to make sure the program gets started. As long as you purchase it, as long as it is paid for, teachers can go right in and jump into the program. The only thing that I would do is that I would make sure, because it is a new program and teachers aren't familiar with it, is to have a professional development where a lead teacher, which I would do myself or somebody else that is familiar with the program, to present the program to all staff, so all staff will be familiar with the program and how they can present it in their classroom. Just overall benefits of the program, again, I've used it now for this school year, and just seeing that and seeing how it's benefited me as a teacher and my students in general. It is an inexpensive tool that can be used in many ways. It's quick and relatively easy to set up. It allows for more student engagement, which again, we're always looking for. All students participate in class. More students are willing to participate due to no fear of being embarrassed. One key thing that is a part of the program is that when students are answering questions online, their name is never attached to their answer. So those shy students that you have in class that may actually know an answer but do not want to answer, they can actually get the answer correct without being identified, which again I think will be a big hit for a lot of students, allowing them to actually want to participate and feel more comfortable. Also allows students to manipulate things, which becomes practice for standardized testing. It is great for informally and formally assessing students, and it's a good data tool. As you know, data is always a big factor in adjusting our teaching methods. So any way that we can gather data is always a plus for our students. Here are some of the references that I use to get my information, but again, overall, I think the program is definitely a hit. I know I've tried a lot of different technology-based programs over the past couple of years, and I would say out of all the programs that I've tried, this has been the most beneficial one, because again, it addresses so many different needs in terms of assessment, in terms of data, in terms of engagement, and again, those are three of the biggest things that we need in our classrooms with our students as we're continuing to go on year and year as education is changing around us. So if there's any questions you guys have, feel free to ask me. But again, I feel like this would be a good investment for our students, for our staff, for administrators, everybody within our school community. Thank you for your time.